Welcome to class number 16 for BJC 101. We appreciate once again the effort that you made to take the time to come out for a little while and sit and talk and learn from one another on some specific topics and issues that are impacting our industry every day that we need to be aware of, and we need to avail ourselves of this knowledge and also the networking experience that we get from one another. Do not be alarmed that the room is not packed today. 3 years ago, I think the first class was in 2014. This room was standing room only at that time. And I said then that this process was very long and arduous. This project was very large and complex, as well as many other projects that are within the BJC space of healthcare, in that it has never been for everybody, just simply the nature of the market. And people get busy, they grow on their business, hopefully, and they also decide that this space not be the best space for them, which is okay. We expect them to make good business decisions. There are many that still believe this is a good space for them and a growing opportunity and relationship within the BJC network. I do realize many are still busy. This summer, I will continue to press that it's important that we take the time professionally, individually, to gain the knowledge. It's the only thing that's going to help push and catapult our businesses forward. So I used to do a class for the city of St. Louis through the Lambert Airport DBE program. I did the class for 10 years. And each year they had 12 classes, once each month. And I think I was doing January each year. And most of those classes, I had 5 people in the room. And for me, it was about being in front of those 5 people and taking the opportunity with those 5 people to impact their lives and their businesses, and to interact with them, and sort of the each one teach one. And to this day, those 5 people still stay in touch with me, and they've grown their businesses. In fact, I think one of the people that I may have met at one of those was Cordell back there. I don't know how many years ago that was, Cordell, but Cordell was just getting started. And I see he's here today. He's actually doing work on BJC projects, and it's great to see the tenacity and the commitment on the part of entrepreneurs. So today we have, as part of 1617 class, Understanding Mechanics Liens in the state of Missouri. We're going to take a fairly deep dive into that this morning. I think so often we don't fully understand these laws and the process surrounding mechanics liens, how they're tied to lien releases, how they're tied to payments, which goes back to how we pay our bills. Our guest speaker for that is going to be Aaron. And Aaron, I want to make sure I pronounce your last name. Is it Weissar correctly? I was close. I met Aaron maybe 4 years ago or so. He's an attorney in private practice, and was very impressed with him and his construction expertise and litigation services. And so we brought him in to sort of be the legal mind behind this discussion today. And of course, we always have my brother, Dr. Banis, who's the professor and director of Washington University Graduate Studies in Construction Management. And he's going to sort of guide us this morning. I'm going to step away and come back. There were a couple things, if we could get to them today. One, I'd love to have an open discussion on how the industry looks at quick pay and direct pay, something that I'm sure is near and dear to everybody's heart in this room. But there are ways to do it, and there are ways not to do it. There are people that don't believe in it within the industry. So I want to talk about that and some of the research that I'm engaging in to sort of find out. I mean, it's sort of investigative type work that I'm doing. I want to know who's doing it within the industry, not just in St. Louis, but on a national basis, who's doing it, what they think about it, if they feel they have inherent risk, what are the problems, and what are the challenges in implementing something like that. Before I turn it over to Steve, I need to make sure that we've got, of course, Greg Moeller here, who's going to come say hello in a minute, who's the Vice President of Construction and Real Estate. We've got Don Roberts, who's the Director of Construction for Planning, Design, and Construction. And I think this is Charles Henson's first BJC 101. Charles Henson is the new BJC diversity manager, and very big help to the team and certainly to me. He is allowing me to really focus now on some direct challenges, whether it be policy, whether it be process, whether it be problem resolution, dispute resolution, and he's really partnering with us really well, and I appreciate the fact that he is here. So, and if Charles wants to come say hi, he can come say hi as well. I don't see Mr. Cantwell this morning. So before I bring Greg, I always gotta. I don't have a book this morning, so you don't have to get all. But I did have. What did I do with it? I am going to a conference next week for the National Association of Construction Auditors, which is also what I do. And I'm excited about going because each year that I go, I learn more about the importance and intricacies in managing construction cost. It is so much more than what we do every day, especially when you look at it through the eyes of an auditor and you're trying to recover cost or protect the owner from putting the cost out in the first place. But I'm excited about going because it's another opportunity. There's usually about 150 other auditors from around the country that you network with and you get to know. And they didn't put me on the speaking schedule this year, but I was on there last year. But there's some interesting classes that I thought were going to be good. I won't go through them, but there's a bunch. It's 3 days of classes, and I'll let you guys know the next time we're together if there's anything that I saw that I think may be applicable to you in the area of managing and controlling construction costs, because that applies to you whether you are a professional service provider, PSP, or a trade contractor, lower tier or prime, or if you're a CM. It doesn't matter. It affects us all the same way. And the fact that these audits are occurring more regularly also impacts us. So without going any further, well, hopefully there was something else that I don't know whether we'll have time to cover or not. But back in 2014 in March, I did a presentation called How to Be Successful on Large Complex Projects. And it was meant to to help and assist the entire group to understand some of the challenges we were up against, specifically in dealing with the campus renewal project, but by it being so large and complex. And a few days ago, I took a look back at that presentation, and to my surprise, there were just certain slides that we went through 3 years ago, and we did some deep dives into some of these topics that we continue to see people struggle with today. And I don't know that we'll get to this, but if we don't, I would certainly like to admonish each of you, whether you're on a PS, well, we're all PSPs, but your actual AE firm or a contractor, to go into YouTube. It's 2 parts, and they're like 40 minutes apiece, so they're not really short. But avail yourself of that and do a recap. I mean, I really, me looking at it again after 3 years, listening to myself and going through the slides, you know, you realize how much you know, how much you forget, and how much you need to be reminded. So take that opportunity, okay? The slide you see up here, if we can get to this discussion, and I hope that we can, and hopefully Steve will direct us there. But interesting, making more money will not solve your problems if cash flow management is your problem. That is definitely something that we continue to see small companies be challenged with.